Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so here what we have is a 5D problem, and it tells you to solve the problem below using a 5D process to create one equation. And remember, if we're creating one equation, that means we only have one variable. Or you can create a system of equations and then solve. So I'm going to start off by creating a system of equations. To create a system of equations, I first have to write some let statements. So what that means is I'm gonna say something like let x equal or represent this, let y represent something else. So let's look at the problem. Dalia's buying tacos and burritos for Music Club. Each burrito costs $2.50, while each taco costs $1.25. The number of burritos she buys is one more than twice the number of tacos. If Dalia spends a total of $52.50, how many of each, tacos and burritos, does she buy? So let's write a couple of let statements. So I know that I have tacos and I have burritos, so I'm going to let x represent the number of tacos. Here we go, let's see. Let x represent the number of tacos. And since x is representing the number of tacos, I'm going to let y represent the number of burritos. Okay. So let's figure out what we're going to do here. Well, for sure, if I'm creating a system of equations, I'm going to have two equations. So I see one total right here. That total is $52.50, which means that likelihood is that one of my equations is going to end with $52.50. Now, how do I get to $52.52? Well, I can't get there by going x plus y equals $52.50. And here's why I cannot do that. Because x represents the number of tacos. So I can't say this many tacos plus this many burritos equals $52.50. No, if I have like 5 tacos and 7 burritos, that would be 12 tacos and burritos, right? It's not going to turn into dollars magically. So over here, I have to put something that represents money. So x plus y is not going to cut it. Well, now let's look at how much each taco costs, because we'll start with x, right? X represents the number of tacos. So each taco costs $1.25. Well, then I got to multiply $1.25 times however many tacos I have. And I have x number of tacos. So the total amount that I'm going to spend on tacos, or that Dalia is going to spend on tacos, is going to be $1.25 times x tacos. So I'm going to write 1.25. So 1.25 times x. And that's going to be how much she spends on tacos. Plus, she's going to add that to however much she spends on burritos. Well, each burrito costs $2.50. So I got to multiply $2.50 times however many burritos. Well, we have y burritos. So $2.50 times y burritos, then it's going to be 2.50 y. So there's my first equation. 1.25x plus 2.50 y equals 52.50. Let me rewrite this so it looks a little bit nicer. Okay, so there's my first equation, and it has to deal with money. My second equation, well, I don't see another total, but what I do see is this. The number of burritos she buys is one more than twice the number of tacos. I'm going to highlight that real fast. So we got the number of burritos she buys is one more than twice the number of tacos. Okay, so the number of burritos is y, because y represents the burritos. So y is, so the number of burritos is y. Y is, that's y equals, right? The number of burritos she buys is one more. One more would be plus 1. So I'm going to write that plus 1 right here. One more, then something else. That something else has to go right here, right? So it's one more, then twice the number of tacos. Well, the number of tacos is x. Twice the number of tacos would be 2x. So what goes here should be 2x. So y equals 2x plus 1. The number of burritos is one more than twice the number of tacos. So here are my two equations. Y equals 2x plus 1 and 1.25x plus 2.50y equals 5250. At this point, I can solve this by graphing. I can solve this by using the equal values method, y equals y. Although if I'm going to use y equals y, then I would have to transform this entire thing and solve for y. And that seems like too much trouble. Or I can use substitution. In order to use substitution, I need to have the value for x or the value for y. Well, I have the value for y. Y is 2x plus 1. So 2x plus 1 is y. That means that wherever I see y on the next equation, so wherever I see y right here, like right there, I can put 2x plus 1. Because 2x plus 1 is y. So, I see y right over here. I'm going to plug in 2x plus 1 right there. And it's going to look something like this. 1.25x plus 2.50, and instead of y, I'm going to put parentheses, equals 52.50. So now instead of y right here, I put parentheses because I'm going to write 2x plus 1 right there, since that is the value of y. So I'll put 2x plus 1 right here. Now, all I got to do is solve this equation, because now this equation only has one variable, x. And once I solve for this equation, I'm going to get x equals something. Once I get that x equals something, I will know the number of tacos, because x represents the number of tacos. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to solve this equation right over here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 250 times 2x and 250 times 1. And if you're wondering, I'm actually using the order of operations. In that, well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for parentheses, right? But I can't really do anything inside those parentheses because 2x plus 1 are unlike terms. So parentheses is done, okay? Exponents, I don't see any. So my first real step is multiplication. So I'm multiplying 250 times 2x and 250 times 1. So let's get that done. So 250 times 2x is going to give me 5x, right? Because 2.50 times 2 is 5. And then 250 times 1 is going to give me, well, 250. So plus 2.50. At this point, I'm going to bring everything down. So I get 1.25x plus 5x plus 2.50 equals 52.50. Okay, so that takes care of the multiplication piece. There is no division. Addition, well, yeah, I can add 1.25x plus 5x, and that's going to get me 6.25x. So 6.25x plus 2.50 equals 52.50. Okay, so I'm done with addition and there's no subtraction. So now all I got to do is solve. So I'm actually going to solve for x, which means I want x by itself. That means I got to get rid of the 2.50. So I'm going to subtract 250 from each side. So minus 250, minus 250. And what I'm going to end up with is, well, that's going to be gone right here. So I'm going to get 6.25x equals 50, right? Because 5250 minus 250 is 50. And just in case, I'm going to put the 50.00. Now, my job is to divide both sides by 6.25. And I'm just going to use my calculator to do that since you guys had access to the calculator. And I'm going to get x equals 8. Well, the moment I get x equals 8, that means that I already know the number of tacos. So Dalia buys 8 tacos, right? So I can already start stating that. So now I just have to figure out how many burritos. Well, remember that y represents the number of burritos, and y is 2x plus 1. So all I have to do is rewrite that equation, and now I'm going to go y equals 2 times whatever x is plus 1. But instead of x right here, I actually know what x is. X equals 8 tacos. So I'm going to plug that 8 right there. 2 times 8 is 16, so y equals 16 plus 1. 16 plus 1 is 17, so y equals 17. That means that Dalia buys 8 tacos and 17 burritos. So let me state that. And there it is. This is how I solved using a system of equations. My system of equations is right here, y equals 2x plus 1, and 1.25x plus 2.50y equals 5250. This is my system because it's 2 equations or more. And I used the substitution method to figure out the value of x. Then I plugged in the value of x right here, and I got the value of y, which means I got the number of tacos and I got the number of burritos. Okay, so before you move on to another problem, what I want you to do is the very next problem. So I'm going to put another problem for you to do here.
I think I'm going to do that freaking poster.
So I forgot that this video is meant for CPR purposes. So instead of doing another problem, what you're supposed to do is now go to your CPR page and try to do the same problem without any help on your own and try to get to the exact same solutions and the exact same work, like all this system, all this work, the same way I did. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you in the next video.